Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by.
We're going to talk about the number 4 book on Amazon's retirement planning category. That'd be my book, Kenneth
Your
French.
book.
My book, woo! But we're going to be hanging out with Dhaval Patel. He's going to be chatting with us, giving us ideas how to maybe even move up to number 1. Because I want to stand in the top 5, and I want to be number 1. But anyway, we're going to be hanging out. Once again, my name is Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're going to be hanging out with Dhaval Patel. What's going on, Dhaval?
Hey, long time no talk.
I know. I'm glad we're talking, man. This is perfect timing because, like I said, right now we're number 4. Then I just saw number 5, so I want to make sure that we are staying up there. I want to be number 1. I want my book, ModernMillions.ai, to be the number 1 book in that category, retirement planning category in Amazon Kindle. So I'm going to pick your brain and let's go. Let's make this a live deal. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
All right. So, all right. So tell us a little bit about your experience with books. Just like you made the joke, usually it's authors buying their books. That isn't the case yet for me, but give us a little bit of a flavor, a little context about your knowledge with respect to books and Amazon sales, et cetera, potentially.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the marketing game for close to 20 years. And I've seen it all. I think very early on, a lot of people got on the New York bestseller list by buying $100,000 worth of their own book, right? I think the algos are more sophisticated. I think a lot of that garbage that used to fly doesn't anymore. There's like real focus on authenticity. So, just talking to you today, we just caught up today and you said, let's hop on. And hearing that your book was number 4, I knew it was organic. There's no way you could game the system anymore. But there are ways to make sure that you show up number 1 or that you have exposure. And it all comes down to like optimization on the Amazon store, right? And I'm sure you did a lot there. So maybe you could like walk me through what you did. Oh, maybe you didn't.
Not enough. So I'll just tell you. So I did a presentation in Vegas. I'm going to say it was about 2015. And it was based on artificial intelligence. I know, believe me, I'm patting myself in the back because we've been doing AI for years. We're way before everyone else. And basically what I did was I almost recycled that basically and made it into a book. I forgot that I had the presentation, by the way. And we used AI to clean up a little bit. My staff helped me to clean up. And I just said, well, wait a minute, let's put some new resources in there and let's market it. And it all of a sudden, I put it on Amazon and man, little did we know it was going to be the number 4. And we haven't done really anything. We have a book launch committee. 48 people are out there telling people about the book. They're buying the book. They're doing reviews, although very slowly. They're doing Google reviews. So we're kind of pushing it organically. I haven't even bought any books yet. No, I bought 1 book, but that's it. I haven't gone out and bought a whole bunch for distribution. Which I think I need to, but maybe not 100,000, just like you said. But otherwise, it's just been word of mouth. We did a press release, and it got, the AP picked it up, and really that's it. And now I kind of want to know the next step. What else do you think we need to do to, capitalize it and maybe move it from number 4 to the number 1 spot?
First off, congratulations. And I think there's a number of reasons why you're popping up. Obviously, you've been a industry leader in AI for a decade rather than like a few years. Funny story. I was in New York City last night, coming back home to LA, and I was at I always stop by the bookstore, right? And a year ago, I saw 1 book on AI. Now I see a whole shelf on AI. So you're at the confluence of like AI being like the next .com, hopefully not bubble, but the next .com boom. And anything that's out there right now regarding AI that's sophisticated enough, that's robust enough, it's not just your cookie cutter stuff, is going to rank. So I think people can't get enough of AI. Even me, like I have alerts on, I use a number of news channels and I curate them, and AI is always something that I keep, top of mind. So, it's just moving so quickly, right? And I know you've been working on this for years, so I'm not surprised that you're number 4 right now.
I feel pretty good. And what I've noticed, thank you very much for all those compliments. What I've really noticed is So I think AI is kind of a thing, but it's less of a thing in the fintech space, meaning in the tax space, in the finance space, asset protection space, because those are always kind of late to the game as far as technology goes. And yeah, I am a little kind of before the times there. But what I would also say is I want to capitalize it. Before, we were behind the curtains using our artificial intelligence for bookkeeping behind the scenes, but now we're starting to let, kind of random rank and file people use our technology. And at the same time, it's like, well, wait a minute. Why keep our technology, our ideas behind the curtain? Why not get out there in front? Maybe it'll, one, bring in new business for us. Two, maybe we could bring down some of our costs. More people could start using our technology, and it'll better people in general because they're now using artificial intelligence to better their financial situation.
Yeah, and it harkens back to like the advent of like SEO and Google search. Not to us now, it seems like easy to conceptualize and understand, but when I first started doing SEO, like building links and creating the infrastructure so that your site could rank was not like easy for a layman to understand.
Mm.
So what we did in a lot of cases for the companies I work for, and then when I had my own agency, was we provided free resources, and you're teaching people along the way. More than likely, businesses can't do it on their own, but they like to know how it's done. So I think you're doing the right thing. You're not gatekeeping, you're educating, but you're also understanding they don't have the time
Yeah.
do it themselves. So like it's not like you're giving away some secret sauce. You're telling them what you do, how you do it, and they'll understand it from a very elementary like level, and then let you do the hard work and stay atop the trends. And I
Yeah,
think that's every kind of industry works like that, right?
that's 100% right. And basically, what we want, so we have an app or a platform called Vastbookke, where it's free bookkeeping. If people want to do, people could pay QuickBooks or Quicken to do their own, to have their own software. Great. Okay. Whatever, $20, $40, $60 a month. Or they can have a bookkeeper do their books. But our opinion is, well, wait a minute. We have this AI model called Einstein. On it is built this thing called Vastbookke, which is our bookkeeping, our AI bookkeeping. And so our thought is, here, let people use it. It's free. We don't really care. It'll be so much easier as a business owner, cheaper and easier because it's built on our model, and we're letting people use that. We have now 300 people who are signed up, who are getting onboarded, who so far they like it because it's simple, it's AI oriented, and it's cost effective. And I probably should have done that earlier. And a lot of the stuff like that we go over in the book, because there's a lot of resources in the book that people don't even realize or just, there's so many AI things out there that can help them as far as technology and finance. It's just unbelievable. And now we're just relinquishing that information, telling people there is, the ABC company that's working on this technology, that has this technology that can help you to lower tax, that can help you to have, bookkeeping free, as an example. And I think it's making a difference. And maybe that's part of the reason the book is selling so well.
Yeah. People want to know, from brick and mortar to SaaS companies, they want to know how to automate their processes, or know that the agency or person working on their processes can scale and provide a lower cost per acquisition, right?
Yeah.
So if you're running ads, they want to know that you can find a lean solution for SEO that's automated maybe by agents, so they don't need 10 people building links and writing content. And I think that's I was just hanging out with my friend Trog yesterday in New York, and he has built his SEO agency on search, and he has 3 guys just creating workflows and agent-based processes, and he's seeing great results. He's driving down cost for clients. So that's an example. And then he's also on LinkedIn nonstop talking about the process. So he's giving away the secret sauce. That's his book, right? I'm assuming that eventually he'll write a book.
Yep.
But it sounds like you were ahead of the curve in the sense of having AI agents and processes like automate a lot of these sophisticated tax things.
Oh, 100%. There's no way we could have over 2,000, 3,000 clients without our automations. There's just no way. We have we have 800 people in our community called the Vast Vault. There's no way we could have 800 people in a community with a skeleton staff if it weren't for AI. So, you just brought up a question. Or to me. So we're thinking about doing ads for the book. By the way, again, going back to the point, we know we have to probably buy some of the books, by the way, because it's cool to hand them out. You know what I mean? Signed copies, right? Amazon, I think the book goes for $19.99. I think I'm billed $9.99 per book, if I remember.
I want a free book, by the way. So
You're going to
Pulling
get
that
one.
up.
You are going to get
Signed copy, Kenner
Yeah.
French.
Where was I going with that? Oh, what we're thinking about doing ads. Now the question is, what kind of ad? We're thinking about doing Amazon ads and Google ads
Mhm.
to basically point people, Google ads to point people to Amazon because it's a non-native, obviously, app, meaning Google to Amazon, and then also doing Amazon ads. So, what are your thoughts about that? Kind of doing a two-prong approach first.
Yeah, Amazon's easy, right? You just there's a native ad platform and you set your parameters and your target audience and they could start advertising on their platforms and their display network. When it comes to Google ads, you really have to have an offer that's tied to your brand. Like people don't know who Kenner French is, right? So you need to have a sophisticated landing page. I think your ad copy can be very simple. Like, this number 4 bestseller on Amazon teaches you how to scale your business, or something along those lines, right? You could have. I think YouTube is somewhere where you could really thrive, where you're holding your book, you're talking about it, and they can see what it's all about, and they can see who you are. Because no offense, you're just no Jeff Bezos right now. You're Kenner French.
Right
You have
now, I like that. Or
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. You have a very niche audience, and in your audience, you're a rock star. But like, if you're going to advertise, any business owner who's getting out of their niche, if they're going to advertise on Google, get your face out there, get a landing page, have them understand who you are rather than just direct selling a book from someone they don't know, right?
So, because I know that's a division, YouTube's a division of Google, but you like YouTube, so I guess what you're going to say, maybe all three-prong approach, YouTube, Google, and Amazon to help propel the book, maybe potentially to number 1.
Oh, I just thought Instagram too. I know you don't. I know your audience is not on TikTok, but like anywhere you can, LinkedIn would probably be really good. But I think your cost per acquisition would be a lot higher.
Higher.
But anywhere where videos involved outside of Amazon, and then on Amazon, you go use their native platform, and they can help you promote.
Yeah. Yep. And then I know this is really hard. It's not a fair question, but the book costs $19.99. I know, again, I know it's a hard question. So what's a right budget, if you will? It's not a fair question, but I'm going to ask. I mean, and right now we're number 4. I just saw something about number 5, but I want to be number 1. I know it's hard. You don't know the economics behind it because I don't know the economics behind it. But what's a budget that people are spending on selling books?
I mean, I'd have to look. I mean, when you go into the ads platforms themselves, they kind of give you a ballpark based on the keywords you're using, the target audience you're going after. They'll give you like a suggested budget, right?
Yeah.
So I can't spitball something right now, but I would say you'd have to spend at least maybe $100 a day. If you want great results, if you want to like lean into it, maybe less. But I found that if you front load your spend and have the right targeting, rather than inching your way into it, just get it over with. Figure out if it works or not. If it doesn't work, you'll find out quickly. But if you like slow roll your way into an ads campaign, I incrementally, you're just going to spend more and probably not get the results you want.
I know from a business perspective, it kind of blows me away that more. So this is my 4th book, but my first 3 books weren't for I know it's going to sound weird, but weren't for public use. We would just basically give them to clients, give them to prospects. But this one, again, we decided to kind of, show behind the curtain. So we're, marketing it, doing press releases, etc., going out, getting a launch team, etc. And it's blown. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. It blows me away that we didn't do this earlier. I'm blown. I mean, I would almost say almost all business owners should have books. You know what I mean? I'm just blown away by it.
Yeah. I think there's an inflection point for a lot of businesses where an ebook no longer makes sense because the data in there is sophisticated, and it goes back to the old adage, like, if something's free, that people don't find value in it, right? Like, giving away your consulting services for free, people don't value that as much as charging a nominal amount. Or I think $19.99 for a book like this is great. If you were charging 100 or whatever, then that's a different calculus. But yeah, I think it comes to a point where you got to stop offering the free ebooks when you're established, when you have as many clients as you do, because there's a value behind this. And you probably spent way more on this book, time, effort, and resources than you did on your ebooks, right? So
1,000%.
Yeah. So there you go. I think there's a lot of reasons why everything can't be free. And there needs to be a point where it is your book that is sold.
And by the way, so this is totally unique. So and I keep talking about this, but it's very accurate. So when you buy a book, usually you just put on the whatever on the bookshelf. You don't do anything with it again. I want this one to be totally unique. One, the name modernmillions.ai. I want people to buy the book and then hopefully, by the way, give it to a friend or recommend it and then write a review. But anyway, put it on the bookshelf as an example. But because it's modernmillions.ai and it relates to and covers artificial intelligence, we want to do a companion website so people are always going to be updated because AI changes on a weekly or an hourly basis. So what we wanted to do is make sure that we have a website that's a companion to the book that's going to be updated. It's a living, breathing thing that's going to be updated every single week. So, because there's going to be another AI model that's going to come out, especially down the road with respect to tax and finance. So it's always going to be, people are always going to have to come back to the website because it's updated and it's in their best interest. And by the way, if people come to the website, at least now, they're going to get a discount. They don't have to pay the $1.99 subscription. So they can, again, see the things that are going to be changing on an ongoing basis because it is AI. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea. I'm sure you recall, remember Adam Grant, Give and Take, and his whole ethos about, those who give and those who take, and kind of understanding that dichotomy and like interacting with people accordingly. That book took off, right? And then he created a whole brand. He's a Wharton professor. He had his own brand, but he created a whole brand around that concept, right? Because it was so compelling. And I think that's a use case here where it's like, yeah, maybe people aren't interested in the vast vault, but they're interested in everything else you have to say here. So creating that little bucket where people can discuss, talk about all the new advances in AI would be a great idea, right?
Yeah.
Just like him, people are always going to talk about this person took from me but didn't give back and blah, 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 And that's an ongoing conversation, much like AI.
Yep. The thought is, I mean, just think about it. If you buy a book and you don't go back to it for 6 months, it's going to change, especially in AI. But if we're updating resources and helping people on an ongoing basis, for one, there'll be kind of a community that's going to be involved with the book, number one. Also, number two, they'll be advantaged because it's going to be updated because things are going to be changing on an ongoing basis. I think it's really going to help them on a massive level. Plus, who knows? The thought is, well, maybe next year we're going to update it and come out with a new edition that's going to be even more groundbreaking, as an example.
Yeah, no, exactly. And this is how these books trickle out, right? Like, I'm just thinking of other books I read. Who's that guy who writes about Wall Street all the time? And now every new, like, yeah, exactly. So he had a book about the pandemic. He has a book about like the crash of in the 80s and in the .com bubble. But he has a compelling narrative, right? Just like you do. And it's always going to be updated. So 5 years from now, version 2, marketing for, billions AI, trillions, whatever, like what have you, like whatever that theme is though, is going to piggyback off of what you wrote in the first version.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you get it. That's exactly right. You're a marketing mind. Obviously you get it. That's exactly that's the thought process behind the book in general.
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask a question. So we've come out with a whole bunch of videos that are companion components of the book. Meaning we have a workbook, we have an audio book, an audio version of the book, by the way, a video version of the book. Anyway, all these companion materials that some are on the website, some aren't, but in general they are. I have a question about that. So would you be of the belief that we should kind of compartmentalize those? I mean, in some cases, not combine those with the book, and sometimes make them a part of the book. Kind of change them so it's compartmentalized so people don't use those resources. What's the best way to say it? I'm not saying it very well. I'm
gonna turn the light on real quick. Sorry.
I guess here what I'm thinking is, in some cases, we're a little worried that it's going to be overkill. There's going to be too many companion components of the book. That's what I'm trying to say. What are your thoughts there?
So I'm assuming you have a print run for the first one that was V1, and now you're going to do another print run where you could have maybe like a preface to the companions and another additional page. Yep. Yeah, I honestly just go as you see fit, right? Yeah. You'll probably get a lot of data from this first run to see like how many people hopped into the companion audio, how many people hopped into another funnel, and then highlight those in the next version, right? And then you have a preface to your next book. Well, so many people liked the audiobook and the companions last time that we expanded on it. I think that's just like another thing where it just kind of like piggybacks off of itself.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, I've been blown away. So before we didn't have a launch team. Now we had a launch team of 48 people. We could have hit 50, long story as to why we didn't. But and I'm shocked how many people wanted to help out. And what we did, by the way, I think is pretty cool. I said, hey guys, if you help out, be on the launch team, your name's going to go in the book. You're going to get a bunch of free resources. Please do a review, by the way. And then you're going to be helped because your name's in the book. You're getting all these resources. And it helps me because those people are now evangelizing. They're telling people about the book. I think that helps. I wish I would have done that for the other books. I think all authors need to do that. All authors have some friends and family who's willing to help get the word out. And that launch team, I think, makes a big difference because they're out there telling people about the book. I think that's a big, big thing. I think for all authors, self-published and otherwise, they've got to get a good, very, very good launch team going.
Yeah, and you already have your vast army, right? So I'm
Yeah.
sure that you pushed out there as well, and a lot of people felt compelled to share. And yeah, I mean, the book's ranking because of that network effect, and it will continue to rank because you haven't even done any promotion yet beyond that, right? You haven't done any ads. You're so radically transparent. You in the fact that you said I didn't buy my own books yet. Most people buy their own books and just say, "Oh no, I didn't buy anything," you know. So like, I think there's resonance here, and it's like blowing up. I see no reason why you can't be number one if you give it now a little marketing push.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. And by the way, the reason I didn't buy the book, there's complications. I'll throw this out for any authors out there, entrepreneurs out there who are thinking about buying a book. We made it again, modernmillions.ai, because we want to funnel people to a website. But Amazon, as an example, and some other sites don't like the .ai because there's modernmillions.ai is going to be taking eyeballs from Amazon. They don't necessarily like that. So that causes some issues. But I wanted to stick with that. I wanted a website that is a companion so people would be able to continue to go there, but it's causing some problems. But the net is, hey, that's my ethos. I believe in that. That's my set of values. I don't really care if it is going to be challenged by Amazon. I think in the long run, it's going to help so many investors. So I'm totally fine with that, if that all makes sense.
Yeah, and then you're also going to be running ads on potentially Google, LinkedIn, and Instagram, where you could lead them wherever you want. You don't have to stay on the platform. So, no, I think you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, but you're right. And you mentioned Instagram. I have 14,000. I don't have that many, but 14,000 people on Instagram. We haven't even told about the book. We need to do that because that could also make a difference. That could prop us up, maybe even going higher than where we are now, number 4.
Yeah, and for your industry too, niche business owners, having 14,000 is more valuable than having 100,000 random people, right? Like you're not just attracting, random people. These 14,000 are highly engaged people. You haven't gamed your Instagram following like a lot of people, like they're real people, right? So I think there's going to be a lot that you could pick out of that as well.
Yeah, and I should be offering some books. Again, I don't have physical books, but I should be offering some to our community because we have, 600, I think, paid and 200 non-paid, meaning the paid people in our Vastbookke community, they're paying up to around $199 a month to be in our community. We should be giving them some books. So, because they're paying us some money, they want some early access, et cetera, et cetera. So I think also that group will also help to get the word out a little bit more than they have because we haven't really pushed it thus far.
Yeah, and we're all business owners, right? Or have been in the past, and it's that network effect, asking for help, receiving it, giving it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like the circle of life for business. So I think tapping into that is your best resource to get you to the next level, and then you can see where you're ranking. And I know we all want to be number one. Then you could like figure out how you could tweak it to be the number one seller, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's something about number one on the front of a book, number one seller on Amazon.
I know. Right? That really is true, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That really is funny.
I mean, you could be a silly marketer and be like number 4 book on Amazon, and maybe that would be like, oh, maybe I should check this one out. This guy's humble.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I was asking a couple of friends, what are your thoughts about saying we have a number 4 book on Amazon Kindle in the retirement planning category? They're like, yeah, it's totally legal. I mean, as long as you're in the top 100, which is a big deal, by the way, That's, I mean, that's considered their bestseller list on Amazon. And I like that. I can now market that. That's something tangible I could go out and say,
Absolutely. Yeah. Test it out. Try some different messaging. I think you're going to find what you need there once you do that.
I know I need to push that. All right, let me pick your brain about, so what's next? I don't really know what's next, frankly. So let's say after, because right now I should also let you know. So we're doing a bunch of, speaking engagements. I'm going to be on some podcasts, just about
Oh,
in
wow.
general, our normal business. But now I'm going to start talking, because it's number 4 on the list. I want to start talking about the book a little bit more proactively, because I think it'll help move to number 1. Plus, it gives me some credibility. So we're going to be speaking at on some pretty cool stages. I'm doing some stuff with Sharon Lecter. She's Rich Dad Poor Dad. Ron LeGrand, big real estate investor. Who else? Oh, Bob Bloom, one of my business partners. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is, how would you optimize it? What would you do at some of those big events, as far as event, like, I don't know, giving books away? I mean, how does that work? I've never really done that in a proactive fashion.
I mean, one thing I've known working with Neil in the past and interacting with a lot of these conference speakers, and just setting up the event itself, is they ask for a bio. Easy, slide in, a new book, bestseller on Amazon, Kenner French. That's your byline, right?
Yeah.
Modernmillions.ai. That then people are already going to naturally, like, while you're on stage, search for that book, right? That's going to help. So I think this is a great way to promote the book without paying anything. You have a captive audience in front of you. You have in your byline your book's title, and then you don't even have to hard sell at the end of the speech. Say, hey, I got a book too. If you guys are interested, promo code maybe. They're already at the conference, so I think that you could do a lot there, right?
Oh.
Even bring some signed copies and be like, hey, I got some signed copies. Maybe don't say it on stage, but like hand them out after or whatever if you want to.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of shocked. Back in the old days when we did it, it was like $3 or 3%, 30%, maybe 33%. I mean, the author charge for a book. Which, let's say I was buying let's say I was selling the book for $10. It would be $3 my cost. But now with it being $9.99 on a $19.99 book, that was kind of shocking if that's the case. But then again, it's worth it, because I know if I give a copy away and they give it to a friend, it's probably going to work out that one of them is going to at least really read it, go to the website, learn about me, learn about our philosophy, which is far better than most people, because most people aren't using artificial intelligence to help lower taxes, etc. So I think the cost as an acquisition for a client, it really ends up being pretty low overall.
Yeah, and as an avid reader myself, I keep all the books that I really like about maybe current events, biographies, great fiction. But what gets shuffled around all the time are books. No offense, but books like yours, because they're very timely. The horizon for that info is like 5 years to a decade, and then it gets passed, right? And that's why you create the new book. But
right,
the encouraging factor there is that, like, I've gotten business books, I've handed them out. No one puts them on their shelves forever, right? No offense, they just don't, because it's quick info. And then, wow, I really like this book. Check it out, right? It's not like something that you can reference 50 years from now and be like, oh, this great AI philosopher. It's too quickly, right?
I totally agree with that. But remember, we're going to be a little different, because we're really going to push the companion website, that being modernmillions.ai, because that's a very big component. Because again, it's going to be changing. And if I'm doing a good job, which I think I'm going to be, on a weekly basis, updating with new and cool, information, technology, etc., that will really help and be a kind of a component that's going to help the book reinforce some of the thoughts in the book, I think it'll make it much better going forward for our readers, etc.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they read the book, they pass it on to the friend, and they're on to the companion piece already, right?
Yep.
And I think that's where the magic happens. And no, great stuff.
Yeah. All right. So as we get ready, I know you're just doing this as a favor to me, by the way. Thank you very much. But let's say someone does have some questions. Are you taking calls, communication from clients or possible prospects, or is that other question if someone wants to talk to you?
No, I'm always willing to help people out. So they could always reach me at dbpatel83.com.
Can you repeat that one more time?
dbpatel83@gmail.com.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And thank you. I know you're not out there. You're just helping me, and who knows, maybe someone's going to want to reach out and take advantage of some of the stuff that you and I've talked
Yeah,
about.
I always like to help people out. It's that give take mentality that I just mentioned. Like, if I can help someone for free and they could do something great with it and help someone else out, great. More power to them, right? Not
Yeah,
every piece of intelligence needs to be bought and sold, right? And I
yeah.
think that's the beauty of like being an entrepreneur, helping people as a marketer. It's just great.
Man, I totally appreciate it. So as we get ready to close, I'm gonna ask a few more questions as we get
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
to close down. So, you mentioned SEO earlier. So, and you and I have talked about at length about, AEO, ask everywhere or ask engine
Yeah, yeah.
optimization, SEO. So now that, we're a little bit further along the line of, AI in your journey, at least, what are your thoughts about how AEO, again, ask engine optimization, ask everywhere optimization, whatever you want to call it, versus SEO is now being
Yeah.
affected by what's going on?
I mean, there's something that's going around right now that it's funny. A lot of business owners and big corporations are talking about. It's setting up the LLM tag on your website so that not Google, OpenAI and Gemini can scrape your content easier.
Mm.
And it's funny, all these people are rushing and scrambling to set this up. OpenAI, if you have enough traffic and if they're scraping enough for you, also has a business model where they like compensate you. Everybody's scrambling to do this, businesses big and small, but it's just kind of funny to me and a bunch of other SEO people because they're going to take that info whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
There might be an opportunity for them to compensate you, but it is good to have that set up because it's going to let you rank on uh it's going to help you rank on Chat GPT, Gemini, what have you, quicker, right? So if they're going to take it anyways, might as well give it to them on a silver platter and be like, early adopter, make sure this ranks when this query's asked, right? That's what we're finding. Um, this is not too dissimilar from the FAQ strategy that I provided last year, where, on your website, put the FAQs there. That's where the scraping's happening, the questions, right? So on the bottom of every site, you should have an FAQ section,
Mm.
so that you're just letting all the scrapers, I'll call them, find the queries easier. It's all about questions. And it's funny, we've been talking about this for like 5 years now, and it's like really coming to fruition now, where I don't even look at the results now. I got these new turntables. Like back in the day, to get these digital turntables are like $3,000, right? And now you could get them for $300, which is also a product of all this innovation, right? So I went to Guitar Center, got these turntables, and I don't know how to set it up. I just went on Google, on OpenAI, and it told me in 5 sentences how to set everything up, as opposed to me looking through the manual or on Google where I'd have to watch some guy's video and all this nonsense. It's giving you all the info you need in a very succinct manner. So if you are in the business of getting people to your site, because they are still linking to the source
Yeah,
of
totally.
everything,
Yeah.
make sure you're giving them FAQs. Make sure that everything on your sites answer question based.
100%. And human, even though it's robots that are looking for the stuff, but if you could do it in human terms, it'll be better off because it's the humans who are running the robots.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And we've totally changed our website. I don't know, maybe it was when we thought AEO was going to be a thing, maybe 4 years ago, maybe around 2000, we changed it because we knew that was going to be a thing. We knew that robots were going to come into our website, ask questions, not only the chat bot, but also just in general. So we made our website very easy to understand for robots, humans, etc. And I knew that was going to be a big thing, which reminds me, things like, Reddit. I think if
Reddit's
stuff
huge.
on Reddit's huge, Wikipedia, anything where it shows authority, it will help people who who want to get in the AEO market, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, everything's leading me to Reddit. Reddit's done a great thing too, where they're not letting AI like get too much into the mix and scrape their content. They're having a big battle there, right? And I don't know where that stands now, but Reddit, I look at whatever pops up in my query from OpenAI or Gemini, and then I go to Reddit. And Reddit's where the real meat and bones is, right? It's like, yeah, it's user generated content, and it's the raw stuff, right? I love it.
100%. By the way, one closing. So I was talking to a dude, Mickey Kennedy, who's a big famous press release. Well, he owns a press release company, but he's a good marketer guy. But what he told me, I'm going to pick your brain about this. What he said is, right now the big cool thing is doing surveys Number one. Then number two, really pushing the press releases after you've resulted in the surveys, and then putting the surveys in some type of a publication or book, not only on your website, but just in general. What are your thoughts about that?
No, I think that's great. Everything's data driven, especially in this society we live in where everything is like, is that fake? Is that real? If you can have data that's verifiable, that's actionable, you're going to get that much further, right? And people have a good bullshit meter on news now too. So having a survey and having the data to back it will help your case out.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing actually we're in the process of putting it together, doing a bunch of surveys with respect to the book and keeping it and putting it on modernmillions.ai, because it'll kind of reinforce some of the stuff that we talked about in the book, and on an ongoing basis we'll be updating the survey and then later the press release, etc.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Good stuff.
Yeah, good. For once, actually, what I'm saying is making sense. Man, dude, Dhaval Patel, it's been good. Always good talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ken French, modernmillions.ai. Remember, modernmillions.ai, also with vastsolutionsgroup.com. This is Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.